Welcome to Animation Rundown and to another stellar movie recap. This time we will be recapping the exciting sci-fi thriller movie Dead Space: Downfall. The film starts with an eerie message from the security chief, Alyssa Vincent, warning whoever was watching it about the extraterritorial aliens that had taken over her crew's bodies and killed them. In the flashback, Alyssa and her team, stationed at Deep Space Mining Colony Aegis 7, are exploring the place. Noticing high readings, they boldly step into the unknown terrain, not knowing what was waiting for them. The team felt that something was very off-putting and eerie about the artifact that they had bumped into, and immediately reported it to their base. They thought that it was a problem they didn't need to worry about anymore. Fast forward a week later, Alyssa comes upon many disturbing suicides who didn't seem that they were sad at all. The team concluded that the artifact had something to do with what was happening, but they do not take any action since they think that it is just a conspiracy. There was no conclusive proof. Alyssa, who has been investigating the matter, realizes that there is a pattern in these suicides. While Dr. Gravely is investigating the artifact even more, Alyssa meets with the captain of the ship and relays her concerns to him. She tells him that the artifact should not be retrieved at all costs, and tells him about the number of suicides that occurred after its discovery. Even though there are potentially grave consequences if the artifact is retrieved, the captain says that he will ignore it and follow the higher-ups' order. Understandably, Alyssa is annoyed, but she still heeds the orders of her superiors. Using a device that throws light and alters the gravitational force which leads the rock flying upwards with the artifact along with it. Meanwhile, a crew member, Mr. Leggio, has been growing wild. He seems impatient and murders 2 crew members. Upon hearing voices, he tried killing himself, but was saved by a sedative given by the doctors. The fear in the doctor's eyes grows with the alarming increase in dead bodies. At the command center, chaos ensues as the team supposedly comes across an unexpected system malfunction. Alyssa and the crew cannot stop wondering how a barren and unknown planet could cause such a system failure on their ship. Even the firefighters are receiving very scary disturbances as they fly around looking for any kind of interference. The pilots can see illusions of monsters on their screens. One of the pilots suggests that the planet poses a huge danger to their mission, but the second pilot has other things to say. He says that no other planet has an intelligent life like Earth, so they shouldn't be scared. Well, they did find a reason to be scared when they see the whole colony empty. Suddenly, the first pilot vanishes, and the other one frantically looks for his wife. He is met with a horrific sight of blood and bodies everywhere. He goes to his wife's room, and his fear heightens when he sees the writings of the artifact written on the walls with blood. Then he faces his wife, who seems off and after saying that they want my flesh, blood, and bone. She kills herself with the weapon in her hand, leaving her husband distraught. Back in the spaceship, as Dr. Gravely cautions the captain of unprecedented psychosomatic energy coming from the place, the crew manages to gain a connection with the colony. Upon switching on the cameras, they are horrified by the scenes that unfold around them. Alyssa is quick to take action, but the captain has other plans. He stubbornly commands that they go back to Earth's safety. To this, Alyssa totally refused to say that it was cowardly to leave the people of the colony there all alone. Meanwhile, the pilot picks up his wife's lifeless body and runs toward his ship. He quickly closes the gate, thinking no one followed. Little did he know that an unknown creature had entered the ship while he was not looking. Just as Alyssa and the captain were arguing, the pilot asks for permission to enter the ship. The captain repeatedly denied his entrance in case he posed a threat to them. Despite that, the pilot races toward the shuttle, hoping that he enters it before he closes. But as the aircraft enters the ship, his wife comes back to life and kills him. Seeing that the shuttle's security was comprised, Alyssa was sent there to check the place for potential threats, along with backup, but she found nothing except for bloody footprints that led to the vehicle's exterior. In that duration, Mr. Leggio wakes up and finds that the room he was in was completely empty. He gets up to see what was happening and is scared out of his wits when he sees his crewmates getting eaten up by alien creatures. He tried to run away but got killed eventually. In the meantime, the crew discovers that several people look up to the artifact as a religious artifact, including the captain. Dr. Gravely, alongside an engineer, goes to calm down the crowd of religious people, and this is where he spots the creepy zombie body of the pilot's wife hiding in the ventilator. As Alyssa and her crew members venture more into the darkness, they spot a lifeless body. The lifeless body suddenly comes to life with sharp, crooked teeth and a body like a spider. The monster lunges at one of Alyssa's crewmates. Even though they were taken aback, the team's reflexes were as sharp as ever, but their crewmate didn't survive, and the attacks kept on increasing and increasing. We could say the same about the fear in the people's hearts. Dr. Gravely can be seen running toward the captain with a shocking revelation. He told the captain that the artifact was not what they all thought it is. Even after the attack, Alyssa's team advances forward and finds more rooms with dead bodies and blood everywhere. Then they come across a group of ravenous flesh eaters feasting on dead corpses. As soon as the crew members see this, they hold back their urge to throw up. They open fire on the flesh eaters and soon realize that this was a mistake. Fortunately for them, the engineer comes and single-handedly defeats all the flesh eaters with his weapon. After almost losing their lives, the crew members beg Alyssa to go back, but she says that it is not in her nature to leave her comrades behind. During all of this, Dr. Gravely tries to convince the captain to destroy the artifact. Taken over by the artifact's powers, the captain grows aggressive and lunges at Dr. Gravely. While trying to defend himself, Dr. Gravely accidentally kills the captain, but he had no time to take that in. They are alerted that all the shuttles were commanded by the infected. The scene shifts back to Alyssa and her control team. They are coolly slicing off the flesh eaters with the weapon given to them by the engineer until one of the team members went berserk and sliced Alyssa's best friend and team member in half. But she had no time to grieve about it. There were more serious matters at hand. They see Dr. Gravely panicking, trying to shut down the engines to avoid the attack of the aliens on Earth. The team was determined to help the others and declared a suicide mission. The engineer offers himself as bait to the monsters so that Alyssa's plan could work. Alyssa and her teammates bravely went around finding survivors while the engineer fought off the monsters with all of his might all alone. Sadly, he meets his end as he gets down on his knees and prays for a better afterlife before being gobbled up by the flesh eaters. Alyssa and her last remaining team member, Ramirez Head, go to the control room where the Mad Doctor is in. Before they could enter, Ramirez tells Alyssa that he is being consumed with thoughts of killing her and shoves her away, sacrificing himself to save her. Alyssa bravely stops the doctor, who later runs away from her as she is fixing what he had messed up. After fixing the doctor's mistake, Alyssa heads toward the room where the artifact is kept in. She is alarmed when she sees an army of flesh eaters, but later notices something really weird. For some reason, they did not approach the artifact, too tired to do even more. Alyssa falls asleep, only to be woken up by a message from Ramirez in her head. Driven by Ramirez's encouraging words to save the ship, Alyssa finally gets up. She finds the last and only remaining shuttle left on the ship. This is where she starts recording a video to warn the people of the Earth. Alyssa informed humanity about the life-taking aliens that had taken over the bodies of humans for their personal gains, eating bodies. She couldn't hold back her tears as she talked about the loss that she and her crew members faced because of this apocalypse. As expected from Alyssa, she was determined to complete her very last mission. She activates the venting system that sucked the monsters out into space. With little time left, she launched a bomb at the colony and then, heavy-heartedly, knew that her time to die had come. The movie ends with a ship from Earth approaching the vacant ship, unaware of the horrors that occurred in it. That is the end of today's video. Subscribe to our channel, Animation Rundown, for even more interesting movie recaps.